Hi, this is Jeannie from Paws Acupuncture, and today I want to talk a little bit about one of the most common ailments I treat in dogs, and that's hip dysplasia. So I'm going to talk a little bit about holistic remedies and therapies that can be used to help your dog. Big dogs are more prone to hip dysplasia. Probably the first thing you think about when you hear the words hip dysplasia are German Shepherds. They're probably the most common dogs I treat in my own practice for hip dysplasia. However, there are other big dog breeds come down with it too. Bernese Mountain Dogs, Big Labs, Great Danes, and so forth and so on. And it doesn't mean that little dogs can't get it either. It just depends on the dog's constitution, its hereditary, and other factors. Your dog most probably will not be able to communicate verbally, unless you speak fluent canine, that he or she has hip dysplasia. So some of the things you do want to look for in your dog are changes in behavior. Does your dog have a problem getting up and down off the floor? Has the dog decreased playing or activity? Does it hesitate to go up the stairs or perhaps down the stairs? Is it walking carefully? Is the dog no longer jumping up and down to greet you? Does it have a swaggering gait? Is there pain in the hip and back area? Now again, your dog can't tell you this. You just have to keep an eye out to see how he's acting. Is the dog sore after exercise? And usually a dog will have some kind of arthritic symptoms along with hip dysplasia, especially older dogs, because I think most older dogs and people have some form of arthritis. I'm not going to bore you with the long mumbo jumbo Western version of what hip dysplasia is. Feel free to Google that if you're interested. I want to put it in just basic terms. This occurs when the femur bone no longer fits tightly against the socket of the hip bone. So what this does, this causes movement in the joint, which is bone on bone, rubbing bone on bone, and that causes pain. So Western medicine, your veterinarian most probably will prescribe pain medication for your dog, perhaps suggest surgery or even a hip replacement. Now, let me make this clear. I am not against Western medicine. I work with a vet and I feel that we can use the best of both worlds of Western and Eastern medicine for the patient. However, sometimes the dog perhaps may be too old to have surgery, or the reality is you just can't afford it. And that seems to be a big factor nowadays. So I want to give you some other suggestions, not as a replacement for medical care, but things you can do to help ease your dog's pain and symptoms. When I was in acupuncture school, I had two German Shepherds, Nina Ballerina and her son, Merlin Bird. And Nina passed away probably my second year in acupuncture school, but Merlin lived on. And he developed hip dysplasia along with some other German Shepherd ailments. And I was fortunate to have teachers show me how to work on Merlin with acupuncture. I changed his diet. I started giving him herbs and I did other things for him. And it helped his mobility, it eased his pain. It didn't cure the hip dysplasia, but he lived to be almost 15 years old and he had a really good life. And he is the inspiration for Four Paws Acupuncture. In my own practice, I treat hip dysplasia with acupuncture, laser therapy, acupressure, and other modalities, which I'll talk about in the next couple slides. I will show the owner how to do some acupressure on the dog so they can do that in between sessions and also when the dog stops coming to get acupuncture. These therapies will help relieve pain, which is a big factor for a dog because dogs worry when they're in pain. It will improve mobility, increase circulation, it calms the mind, and it relieves the stress and worry of pain. You may notice, especially if you have shepherds and other sensitive dogs, working dogs, they like to be stoic, they like to be brave, but deep inside you can tell they're worried about something. And usually it's worrying about the pain and the mobility issue. A few other great therapies to especially help mobility is aquatherapy, where the dog gets in the pool and swims around, chiropractic adjustments, and physical therapy. You may not realize it, but diet plays a big role in relieving pain. I recommend a gluten-free diet for your dog because gluten exacerbates pain. No matter how the pain is caused, especially if it's arthritic or hip dysplasia type of pain, gluten makes it worse. So you want to make sure that if you are feeding your dog kibble or treats even have gluten in it, you want to make sure that they're all gluten-free. And I started cooking for my dog Merlin when he was older. It was easier for him to digest, and also I was able to put herbs inside the food. That way he wouldn't be able to pick it out, because you know how dogs are. And there's a couple of recipes and other videos I'll link at the bottom here that I will share with you of what I used to cook for him. But make sure that it's a gluten-free diet. Now I realize all dogs love pizza crust. Okay, we know this. So if you want to give your dog one pizza crust a month, I don't think that's going to make a big difference. It's going to make your dog happy. Just don't do it every night or every week, okay? The other thing I find works combined with acupuncture and acupressure and laser is using Chinese herbal formulas that are specific for the dog's diagnosis and symptoms. So every dog might have a different kind of herbal formula. And also topical liniments. Zheng Shui is the one I use the most, and I have a video on that too. I tell my dog owner patients, if you do nothing else, I say, use the Zheng Shui because it helps relieve pain and it feels really good. There are several types of herbs and homeopathic remedies and supplements you can give your dog. You just want to be careful not to give them too much all at once. Start off with just maybe one or two to see how it's working for the dog. Don't go out and spend a couple $100 on supplements or homeopathic remedies and give it to the dog all at once, because it's just going to make them worse. You want to see what's working for them. I like to start off with something simple, things you can get online, such as a turmeric curcumin treats, which will help with mobility, improve circulation, and it helps ease pain. Perhaps some arnica montana that you can take internally. Things like that. But this is something you want to consult with your holistic practitioner, and I also have included information like that in our books and online classes. I want to be honest, there are no magic cures. However, I like to give people the option of, do you want to go the Western route and do medication and surgery, which you can combine in after the surgery with alternative methods like acupuncture, acupressure, laser, etc. Or if you choose not to do surgery or Western medications, you can go the holistic route to ease the symptoms, ease the pain, and give your dog a better life with what you can do and what you can afford. So it's something that you need to discuss with your family and your veterinarian to make the right choice. One thing that can really help your dog, especially if you live in a climate where there's cold, damp weather, is to make sure you keep your dog warm during that weather, because cold will make the pain worse. You can make sure it's covered. You could throw a blanket or a towel in the dryer and have your dog lay on top of it, and then throw like another one in the dryer and put it on top of your dog. Or have like a little heating pad that you throw in the microwave that you can put near the hip area, or put a jacket or a sweater on your dog. For more detailed information, please check out our website, pawsacupuncture.com or naturerealmportal.com, where we have online classes specifically with details on holistic remedies and methods and therapies for dogs and people. And our book, Barkopedia, the Canine Book of Knowledge, is filled with all kinds of remedies holistic tips, acupressure points, and instructions, and more. Thanks so much for watching, liking, and sharing and subscribing to the Four Paws Acupuncture YouTube channel. I hope this helped you and your dog, and I'm sending healing thoughts to all dogs out there with hip dysplasia and other ailments and pain. Thanks so much.